All right, let's dive into one of the biggest, most popular myths out there. You know the one. That somehow aliens came down and built one of humanity's most incredible achievements.
Yeah, you've heard this a million times, right? You look at something as massive and as perfect as the pyramids, and you think there's no way. There's just no way humans could have pulled that off. The go-to explanation becomes something else, something not from around here.
And you know what? That idea is maybe the biggest insult to human ingenuity in all of history. Seriously, it just completely writes off the actual verifiable genius of our ancestors for a much lazier and frankly less interesting story.
No, I get the awe. I really do. The Great Pyramid of Giza alone is made of 2.3 million stone blocks, and each one of those blocks weighs about 2.5 tons. So yeah, it's totally natural to ask, how on earth is that even possible?
Well, it becomes possible the second you stop thinking about aliens and you start thinking like an engineer. See, the ancient Egyptians weren't fighting some cosmic mystery. They were fighting the basic laws of physics. And they had two really specific problems they needed to solve.
First up, you've got gravity. How in the world do you lift something that weighs as much as a car, hundreds of feet into the air with no modern cranes? And second, you've got friction. Okay, let's say you get it off the ground. How do you drag that thing across the desert without it just digging itself into a sandy grave? See, this isn't a mystery. It's an engineering equation.
And their solution to that first problem, gravity, was just an incredibly elegant and powerful physics hack, the ramp.
And this gets us to this beautiful concept called mechanical advantage. It's a fancy term for a really simple, powerful idea. Basically, don't fight the universe head-on. Instead, you use its own rules against it to make a ridiculously hard job way, way easier.
So think about it like this. Trying to lift a 2.5-ton block straight up? Forget it. It's a losing fight. Gravity is going to win every single time. But what if you put that same block on a really long, gentle ramp? Now you've changed the game completely. You're not lifting it anymore, you're pushing it. You're just spreading all that work out over a much longer distance. And suddenly, the force you need to apply becomes totally manageable for a team of people.
And we're not talking about some steep, crazy ramp here. The real genius was in the subtlety. These were massive, winding structures with an incline of only about 5 to 7 degrees. It wasn't about raw power. It was about brilliant, patient geometry.
Okay, so problem one, gravity, is solved. But now you've got problem number two. You still have to drag that car-sized block across miles and miles of open desert.
Right? The quarries where they cut these stones were miles away. So you've got this enormous block on a wooden sled. How do you get it from point A to point B when point B is across a sea of sand?
Because dry sand is an absolute nightmare. As you pull the sled forward, the sand just bunches up in front of it, creating this massive wall of friction. I love this analogy. It's like trying to pull something heavy through a wall of sugar. You're just not going to get very far.
And this is where their incredible understanding of their environment comes into play. It's called the wet sand trick. It turns out, if you pour just the perfect amount of water on the sand right in front of the sled, something amazing happens. The water creates these tiny little capillary bridges between the sand grains. It basically makes the surface stiff and smooth, turning that loose, frustrating sand into a solid roadway. And the effect of this was absolutely massive. We're not talking about a small improvement here. This one simple trick literally cut the amount of force they needed to pull the sleds in half, 50%. They doubled their efficiency using nothing more than some water and a deep, deep understanding of physics. It's amazing.
So what's the big takeaway from all this? Well, it's that the pyramids aren't a monument to aliens at all. They're a monument to pure human genius.
Their real toolkit wasn't some advanced technology from another galaxy. It was a huge amount of organized manpower combined with really, really smart physics. They used simple, brilliant tools, plumb bobs to make sure the walls were perfectly vertical, water-filled trenches to get perfectly level foundations. They even used the stars for alignment. And maybe the most important tool of all, just brutal, relentless consistency, day in and day out.
And that's really the heart of it, isn't it? The universe runs on logical, understandable rules. The Egyptians didn't need magic to break those rules. They were just incredible observers. They paid attention to how the world actually worked, and then they executed on that knowledge with a kind of focus and determination that's hard to even imagine.
So maybe we should stop waiting for aliens to come down and solve our problems. The power to build impossible, world-changing things, it hasn't gone anywhere. It's been right here, inside of us, all along.